incoming. Ball dropped. Ball reset. Ball incoming. Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped. 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 Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped. Ball out of bounds. Ball incoming. Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped. Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball.
Hello everyone, you thought this one wasn't going to be casted, but Gaskin and Jersey have arrived. We just finished casting the main stream, and we thought, why not? We'll jump on the B stream like mad lads. It's Into the Breach versus Complexity, and I'm very excited for this one, Richie. I didn't know what we were going to be casting. I sat down so quickly, but we are now into the elimination bracket. Of course, Into the Breach losing earlier to Optic Gaming, and Complexity find themselves in the elimination bracket after their poor play performance, where they lost to a Kave Esports.
Yeah, you mentioned during your rabble that you thought this wasn't going to be casted. There are definitely people listening now that were hoping it still wouldn't be casted after hearing our voices.
They were like, ah, these guys have arrived.
We can only apologize. We are put on what we're put on. So anybody that isn't a fan of our voices, our accents, or where we're from, maybe. All we do is apologize for our past personalities.
It does seem fitting, though. It's Into the Breach. ITB are playing, so there's going to be a lot of Europeans watching. So I'd like to think that some of them like us, but most of them probably don't. Anyway, Complexity have a nice early lead here, 39 points up, 29 points up. Good math.
One person I know that is definitely watching this series is WuTum's mom. She will be at home cheering on the boys, hoping that they can get a victory here against Complexity. Of course, it being elimination round 1, which means if you do lose this series, unfortunately, not only is your tournament over, Dan, but your season as well.
Season's over, tournament's over, and it would be top 12 if you lose this. But of course, progressing would guarantee you top 8. I mean, there was once upon a time that top 8 for a European team, we were screaming and shouting about it, but now it seems like we have moved on. As soon as we had a top 3, we were like,
our expectations are, the floor has been raised, unfortunately.
Top 8?
Top 8?
No. Well, ITB, I mean, their expectation hopes would be minimum top 6 with what they've been able to achieve throughout this season, but of course, going further than that, they still want to break into that top 4 and be able to show that they, like Quadrant, can actually match with the biggest teams in the world.
And interestingly enough, Complexity and Into the Breach at one point or another this season have both finished top 6, so you really have two teams with the capabilities and the possibilities of finishing top 6 playing here, and one of them going home at top 12, which is truly terrifying.
Yeah, and really Complexity's fault. If you look at pool play, and I guess ITB will be left scratching their head saying, well, why are we facing?
Would you say they dropped the ball?
I would say
dropped the ball.
They did drop the ball, which Actually, there was a few times where Complexity didn't drop the ball during ball play, and maybe that was one of the reasons why they went down to Akabe Esports. But Akabe did lose their matchup in the winners bracket as well, so they'll be dropping down to the elimination bracket. Maybe Complexity, if they can get through ITB, might have a chance to revenge a little bit later, depending on how Akabe Esports do. But it is a 50-point lead now. ITB have just not been able to get control of this ball at all, and time is starting to dwindle away.
With the way brackets work, Complexity wouldn't really match Akabe Esports again, correct?
I mean,
if you play
don't
each other
really.
in pools, you're on opposite sides.
There is still a way they could match, but they would both have to get all the way through.
Really far.
Yes.
To like the elimination finals.
It is very unlikely with the two teams that we are talking about that they would match up in the elimination finals.
Not impossible, just improbable is all. TchiK and Jimbo, they've combined to get a couple of kills for their team. At the moment, though, it is Complexity to hold the lead. 62 seconds to 12. And with 40 seconds on the clock, it's into the breach who are in real peril of losing round 1 here.
30 seconds left, so there's still hope for ITB, but I think that now Complexity are going to be able to just play around this ball. Use gold to their advantage. 2 are dead for ITB. Jimbo does have camouflage, so he can be the one that maybe breaks in and grabs this ball, swoops it up from under the nose of Complexity, but more than likely this round should be over.
You can see they're trying to spot out the camouflage player, recognizing that he's going to come eventually. RyaNoob is spotting him out. Plasma pistol shots continue to fire at him. They've got the ball in a really tough position. Expertly done by Complexity, it must be said. TchiK's got to try and get there. RyaNoob's putting some of the deadly tea bags in there as well, so the tea is getting a little bit flavorful. Will that come back to bite him? We've seen RyaNoob doing that before.
We've arrived at a series like this, have we?
I don't mind.
In game 1, round 1, we're seeing a little bit of baggage.
In early from the start. First one's free is what you might say.
Well, that is going to dictate how this series goes. Boy, am I excited for it, because you better know, if you're going to drop some bags in round 1, if ITB do come back, they will be dropping the baggins back to you. I saw WuTum stand up and flip the bird.
He's been letting people know.
He has.
It was shades of Stone Cold Steve Austin's what I said.
And his mother's watching.
His mother is, but well, hopefully she can see that on the socials. Because her son, as far as she's concerned, is a little angel.
I think she would encourage it,
She
actually.
probably would.
She'd be like, yeah, go on.
I've seen the way she answers some trolls on social media. She definitely, he takes right after her.
Well, the early round, sadly, for ITB is going in favor of Complexity. They're not quite able to match the Slays at the moment. You can see just the stats on your screen. You don't need to be a mathematician to know who is leading in terms of Slays. Complexity have a heavy lead right now.
I'm just really glad that's not a requirement for this job, is being a mathematician. Lord knows I wouldn't stand a chance.
53.
Good from you. That's some good. See, I can't even fact check him. Just go, okay, that sounds good to me.
I feel that way about a lot of things. If I just say the number,
if you say it with confidence as well,
not many people are going to go back and fact check it.
no one's going to carry the one.
By the time they start counting it, there's already another couple of kills on the board.
Yeah,
so
you were like, at the time it was that, of course, yeah. Subject to change. Constantly flowing, always evolving. As is the gameplay on our screens right now, as TchiK tries to get a trade, try as he might, he fails. He does not succeed, and WuTum does fall as well. So Mighty's the Dutchman, last man standing for his team, backs away towards single stack. Huss not interested in letting them survive, will chase that one down, will hunt them down. Complexity starting to piece something together again into the breach. They've got to be careful here, because this game can get away from you very quickly. Something Complexity are very good at doing is being difficult to play against, particularly in a game type like Oddball, Dan.
Yeah, I think Oddball really fits the playstyle of Complexity. And RyaNoob and his way of playing Halo, there's always been, you know, memes around it that he used to say that the likes of FaZe didn't play Halo correctly, and I know that's old now, it's old news. I'm sure he doesn't think that anymore, right? Who knows? But his ideologies and the way he likes to play the game, I really do feel like Oddball fits his style. Kind of setup, break setup, push, break setup, setup. It's all very methodical. But ITB have been able to have a great passage of play here. TchiK maybe is going to be under a little bit of stress though from several players.
It's important to mention even TchiK as well, because the way his season started this year, I shouldn't have said season twice. I've kerfuffled myself, but I'll continue to stumble forward. TchiK dropped by quadrant, deemed surplus to requirements. Gets on this Into the Breach roster, and they've really seen instant success because they have, tournament after tournament, they have improved. It hasn't been leaps and bounds, it hasn't been immediate, but they have definitely just grinded away, chipped away at the issues and the problems they had. And they are a real tough test for any of the teams in the HCS here today. They'll be continuing to do that to Complexity now. Breakingshot's going to throw the ball bottom middle. It's immediately scooped up by a member of the Into the Breach. So, zMightys gets RyaNoob down to no shields, continues to apply damage to him, apply pressure, call him out, but then leave him alone because you recognize you can't get the kill.
I think it is great to see European Halo in this spot where, you know, back in the day it was, you'd have an English team, you'd have a French team, well, you'd have a lot of English teams, you'd have French teams, you'd have Finnish teams, you'd have Dutch teams, and there was very little crossover with them playing together. And then you look at the ITB roster, 4 players from 4 different regions.
It's continental breakfast.
It really is. Whatever you fancy, there is a little bit of it in ITB.
There's something on the menu for you here. We've got a French, an Englishman, a Dutchman, and a Finishman. There's a joke there somewhere about them all walking into a bar.
I mean, depending how they do at this tournament,
they will be in the bar.
We might see them Sunday. Depending how they do today, we might see them Saturday.
We might see them in the bar.
Well, 3 are down on the side of Complexity. This has been a far better round from Into the Breach. 4 dead. There's going to be some good time here. Jimbo has the ball. He's 11 and 21 is Jim. It's not been the easiest first round, but it's started to make up for it here in round 2. And of course, Jim has always been the more objectively focused player in this roster. Surrounded himself by a lot of young guns who are good with their guns. And they're looking to close in on this round 2 now.
You see Jim, he has the right idea. You're playing a game and you're 11 and 21. Give me the ball and let me have the maximum time. But as I say that, RyaNoob charges in, gets himself a triple kill, breaks the setup wide open, and Into the Breach were never really comfortable. They had 3 players positioned in tower, not really putting down enough damage, and as a result of that, Complexity could roll in, take what was theirs, and now they can start to score. ITB need 3 points, but it is important to note they have to be very careful here because a couple of pushes don't go their way. All of a sudden, this game's all tied up. All of a sudden, this game is over.
If you get a little bit antsy and start desperately trying to push towards that ball, and it's kind of happening. 3 are dead on the side of ITB. Complexity still holding said ball. 20 more seconds required for them to take the map here. ITB, all 4 of them up. This is the push. They have to go now. Otherwise, this will be the round for Complexity. WuTum gets the opener, though.
A big pick from WuTum. 89 seconds for Complexity then. Ball carrier is forced to drop it and do damage. Ball's going to be played then. zMightys down to no shields. The ball's been played. But fortunately for ITB, it's being played into the hands of ITB. TchiK's got hands on. He will secure the round for his team. 1-1, we go again.
And it was a little bit ugly at times, but ITB bounced back after a round 1 that was somewhat dominated by Complexity. I think that's going to do wonders for Into the Breach's confidence. 26 kills on the board for WuTum. The best mouse and keyboard player in Halo Infinite and the history of Halo. I mean, we've never had a mouse and keyboard player place where he has. We haven't really had games where mouse and keyboard could play until Halo Infinite, but here we are. He has been incredible. The rise of WuTum is something that, I mean, I know we get the unlocked episodes and we get to focus on a lot of players. I would love to see one about WuTum. If not this year, next year, of course, because it's not going to happen this year. This is the last event. Media would have to work very fast.
The powers that be will definitely be thinking about it. He is definitely a player people would love to know more about, particularly with his career with Space Station over on Splitgate as well. So this isn't his first competitive outing. He has found Halo Infinite, and it's fit him like a glove, I can tell you that for a fact. 27, 7, and 20 with the ball in his hands as well, 48 seconds. He really is trying to pull his team to victory. Breakingshot's going to drop down. RyaNoob down to no shield as well. A lot of damage being done by WuTum, but nobody there to get the kills. TchiK's long haul. Breakingshot's going to hunt him down. Jimbo's top goal as well. Rayne is going to close in on that as well. So at the moment, Complexity doing damage, staying alive, and really getting kills without any trades.
Yeah, with every extra kill, with every extra round win from ITB, every extra map win, I get closer to my potential fate with Jimbo. I had a couple of people came up to me and they were like, oh, why don't you think ITB are going to win? And you make a joke saying you're going to kiss Jimbo if they win, like they won't win. It's like, no, I want them to win.
you want to kiss Jim?
I would celebrate with a full-on smack on the lips to Jimbo.
A full-on snog.
No, I didn't say full-on snog.
Snog.
No,
I've said it.
Just to clarify,
Because I'm up in the ante. Dan will snog him.
Into the Breaches admins will definitely be watching this, and social media, you can't say snog.
The contract is legally binding.
It's really not. I would love to see a European team
I
win.
thought you were going to say I'd love to snog Jimbo.
I would love to see ITB win. I mean, I'd love to see a European team win. I would take Legend winning, of course. Did you see Legend? You did. When Legend won the MVP, the tears in his eyes, the emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is historical for Europe.
It pulls at your heartstrings as well. Particularly because I've been watching him, commentating over him for such a long time.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful moment. But again, our attentions are not on Legend. They're on a different Frenchman. As TchiK is in this one, currently sitting at 18, 10 and 23. This game is neck and neck, all tied up 1-1, 42-49. These next couple of moments are going to be pivotal, and RyaNoob really punching a hole in the Into the Breach defense and soaring forward.
And I haven't forgotten that RyaNoob dropped the Baggins after round 1.
There has been a Baggins.
And ITB wouldn't have forgotten it either. So you better make sure that this killing spree does turn into more ball time, which it has for Complexity. There's only 2 alive, but it's a 2-on-2. And WuTum's going to be the first one to push in, but RyaNoob's there and waiting. But Jimbo is able to double down, and at least that ball is played. It's out in an area that's a little bit more vulnerable, but it's a 1 versus 2 now on the map. TchiK's the last remaining player, but Complexity can't really grab that ball because of where TchiK positioned himself.
The ball is in a precarious position. Breakingshot's quite happy just to watch over it and force into the breach into some uncomfortable positions. WuTum's down to no shields. zMightys is 2. Breakingshot, 2-3 shots went to begging, but unfortunately for him, it wasn't going to upset the cause because the player was down to no shields. Only one really needed to find a home. Breakingshot soars forward, slides into Jimbo's face, and accepts his fate with the trade. Complexity rotate the ball in towards Elevator now, and they can have a setup into the breach. Have got to try and break this. Camouflage, look, that could be exactly what they need.
Need to be looking at the likes of WuTum here, who's been having a great game in terms of slays, to be able to get those openers, and there's a whack onto Rayne, which will allow WuTum not only to get the kill, but also to get a little bit of ball time. But he says, you know what, I've got a shock rifle. Oh my God, if he had connected with that,
hit the face there,
I don't know what I would have done with myself.
I'd have lost it. TchiK gets Huss, Jimbo gets Rayne, and a full rotation of the ball towards blue here. I like the work they're putting in here. There is a player inside blue that needs to be cleared out. TchiK has that information. You can see that's why he's a little bit hesitant to push into it, getting tagged up from over at the shock rifle by Huss.
3 dead.
This is good. This is perfect for ITB. They now have the blue set up. They now have the opportunity to play the ball. Unfortunately, though, they haven't cleared out tower. They haven't pushed forward, so they do not have the comfortability of knowing that if a player in tower dies, they can play the ball. They're going to have to fight off the back foot here. They've done so successfully. RyaNoob and Rayne, off that initial push, have fallen. And now Complexity start to spawn towards goal, and that is perfect news for Into the Breach. That's exactly where they want them.
Well, 17 more seconds needed for ITB to win this map after being 1-0 down, but here comes the Complexity push. This ball is going to have to be played, which it will be. And now ITB going to have to refocus about trying to regain map control. They get the first. Can they get another? Yes, they can. TchiK is on a tear. Sticks him.
Into the breach, into the bizzle. TchiK's giving him the wiggles. zMightys soars into pipes now, ball in hand. Spins around, puts shots down on Breakingshot. Has the help from WuTum there as well. They only need 6 more seconds, but the ball is down. Happy to play this one patiently. Unfortunately, zMightys stepped out just a touch too far. WuTum is going to get pressurized here. He's got to try and stay alive. Prioritize living. Huss down to no shields, but Jimbo is 2. These next few moments are pivotal because if Complexity can get their hands on the ball, they can get a perfect setup. TchiK's in big trouble. Grenade goes down. Not enough damage. Tries to get the trade. Gets the stick. 4 dead for Complexity. Jimbo's got hands on ball. Into the breach will win game 1.
Forget TchiK. Call him Shtick instead, because that's 2 sticks that were big for ITB as they take the round. And despite the fact that the Baggins was dropped after the first round, I said, ITB, they're a team. They will remember. And they come back to take the first map here. This is going to be a brilliant series. Very surprised that these teams find themselves here, especially Complexity with how good this roster has been this season. But, wow, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. But, of course, we're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have map number 2.
Welcome back, folks, to game number 2 here. Into the breach, up against Complexity in the elimination bracket. One of these teams is being sent home and their season is drawing to a close. It's their curtain call. It's fight or die. And at the moment, into the breach, they're fighting. Complexity, they're dying.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to commit to that, but yeah, they are. Complexity, it's strange because the round 1, I mean, what we arrived to, remember we arrived 30 seconds into the game. They were dominating ITB in the first round, but the response was incredible. And I think that that speaks volumes for how ITB have grown as a team throughout this year. They went from a team that was always struggling in pool play, getting stuck in a 3-way tie, being eliminated or dropping into the elimination bracket, to a team that were getting over the final hurdle, a team that was able to finally beat those squads that had avoided them so many times, evaded them so many times. And I just think that they have that belief in themselves now, that they know that they can get the job done and they can get back into games.
Yeah, I think it's indicative to where the team is now as Complexity go 4 dead, that when they play against the likes of Complexity and even teams like Rebellion, as zMightys rips the body of Huss, when they lose, they're genuinely disappointed that they didn't get the win that they felt like they could have a couple of moments had gone their way. That's how competitive they are. That's how competitive the HCS is. At the moment, the score currently sitting at 14-5. Into the breach have started this one hot. zMightys 3-3-0. Can they continue this momentum and really put Complexity to the test here? Because you got to fear for Complexity if they go down 0-2 here. Just the sheer weight of expectation would be they will tumble out. But the way their tournament has gone, already being upset in pool play, this has not been the Halo World Championship so far they would have wanted.
I mean, a top 6 last event. Complexity probably thought they would come into the Halo World Championship and be able to breeze through pool play. Alas, they finished 3rd in their pool. They find themselves in the elimination bracket. They find themselves 1-0 down. They find themselves 20-7 down in game 2. Rayne still yet to get a kill, may I add. I don't want to point him out too much, but...
An assist, though. Just got an assist.
You have to call a spade, you have to call a goose a goose.
Would you say, rains it pours?
Blimey.
zMightys rips the face off a Breakingshot.
Rayne got his kill, though.
That's all we're here for. Success. This is the true success story. Ensuring nobody gooses at the Halo World Championships. That's not what we came here to see. zMightys gets the fresh sniper rifle, puts the fresh ammunition into the magazine, rolls backwards. He tried to play it there. You see, he was trying to get back into a position to toss it off the map. Unfortunately for him, wasn't doing. Huss then. This could be the road. This could be the avenue to get themselves back into this game. 25-14 now. Sniper rifle in the hands of Huss. If he can start hitting some shots, creating some openings for his team, that's what they need. That's what the doctor orders.
Yeah, I think once you see Complexity get a few back-to-back kills like that, you want to slow the game down a little bit, ITB. Yes, you have a very commanding lead, and you could have played in the way that you just continue your pace and you continue to snowball and you just dominate the competition. But once you give up the sniper rifle, which also has a lot of bullets to work with, may I add, you have to be a little bit more strategic with your pushes. As speaking of being strategic, zMightys will regain his sniper rifle, and he's already been able to put a few headshots down on the board. I'm sure he's going to aim for a couple more here.
RyaNoob thought about going top tower. It was a good thing he didn't, because zMightys was waiting for it with the sniper rifle trained. As he pushes forward once more onto Nest, surveying the land, weighing up his options. 3 members of Complexity not really stepping out of line. Breakingshot is going to, but he's going to sit behind that box. zMightys recognizes he has to get himself out of trouble here. WuTum and Jim elsewhere, though, on the map. They're doing a lot of damage, getting themselves a lot of kills. Huss has gotten a trade eventually. But this, so far, Dan, is complete control and domination from the Europeans.
It's a 13-kill lead. And they're happy to take this one slow. Force Complexity to try and do something here. Every time zMightys presses his right trigger, I feel a little tingle.
Yeah.
You just feel like he's got something a little bit special. And to have the sniper in your hands when you have WuTum on your team, by the way, always... Oh, what? Ooh. Like, he's just wasting ammo and just says, actually, I'll waste this last bullet on your body. To have the sniper rifle whilst you have WuTum on your team demonstrates what a good sniper you are. Because, of course, mouse and keyboard, we know, usually would be the ideal sniper holder. And, yeah, see,
no,
we told you.
We called upon this.
We told you, RyaNoob. You drop the baggins will come back to you.
Naughty, naughty, naughty. Sometimes the baggie becomes the bagger, and vice versa. Speaking of baggins, do you leave your tea bag in or out with a cup of tea?
Whilst I'm drinking it?
Yeah.
I take it out.
Of course.
Of course.
You want to be a heathen. You'd be a heathen to leave it in.
You steep the tea.
Yes.
Also in the correct temperature of the water. You have to boil it.
Yes,
Some of these Americans,
I
they only boil it till like 50. And I'm like, that's not even boiling.
I'll get emotional if I start talking about how the Americans make tea.
Jesus.
They're a problem. They're an issue.
Well, I mean, the team that's in hot water right now is Complexity.
That was good from you.
God, I'm brilliant.
You steeped that at the right temperature.
42-26, and sadly for Complexity, you really struggle to see a comeback into this one. It would have to be something miraculous. First, they need to get the sniper rifle. It's going to be Jimbo's chance to have a little bit of a show with it. And actually, the grenade does the job for the first one. 7 more kills, and ITB will be 2-0 up and 1 map away from sending Complexity out of the Halo World Championship.
Huss and Rayne do get a couple of kills, so they're over the 31-point threshold, so it will not be a steak dinner, but a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it. It looks as though this one's very much trending towards a European victory in Game 2, and like you say, it's a long road back then, because typically the way ITB are playing here is Breakingshot peels one off, heads back to top middle, thought about dropping it for his teammate, but thought about it again. Thought and rethought, thunk and thought. Bottom tower now with sniper rifle, but being pressurized a lot. TchiK's last man standing for his team. ITB now just require 4.
Breakingshot defending his tower. Sadly, I don't think that ITB are going to go anywhere near it. They don't need to. 2 more kills. Make it just 1 more kill now for Into the Breach. And unless we see something crazy, which we won't, Mighty gets the last kill on the board. And Into the Breach, 2-0 up here against Complexity. And 1 step away from securing themselves into the top 8.
RyaNoob's got to be thinking, why did I do that?
Why did I?
That was a mistake.
You opened a can of worms.
He really did. He started brewing something, and he didn't have the rest of the ingredients that was needed, because you start laying the bag down round 1. He done the same thing against Optic not too long ago as well. And the exact same game mode, if I'm not mistaken. And the story played the same. So, Ryan, you got to stop doing that to people.
Well, will we see Complexity come back into it, or will ITB follow up with a 3-0? We'll find out right after this break.
Welcome back, folks, to Game 3 of this elimination bracket match. These two teams fighting for their tournament life. The person that does go out will be eliminating the position of top 12. So they are the stakes as it stands. And for ITB, it's about pushing forward and building on what the successes they have had this season. And what a story it would be for them not to just get to top 6, then top 8s. Like you mentioned before in this series, they want to get to top 4. They want to be in the same conversation the Quadrant was just a year ago.
Honestly, when you talk to ITB, you talk to Wonderboy, the coach of ITB as well, like, after every tournament, it feels like they say, you know, bar a few mistakes, we could have beaten X, Y, or Z. Like, they seem to be so close, and they genuinely think that they can beat the biggest and best teams in the world. So, in their mind, they're like, we can win this World Championship if we play at our very best. However, it's difficult to play at your very best in every single game, every single series, but that's where the experience comes in from some of the North American sides, where they do really have that stamina to play for the long days. And sadly for the likes of ITB, for the likes of Quadrant, they have fallen short every now and then, as Mighty almost locks down a double.
Solid body shot connects as well. Good work from the Dutchman. Jim, currently 5-0-1. Speaking of good work, he is doing just that. His first flag capture is going to be so important, and you've got to feel Complexity get it, they can start to get themselves on a roll and perhaps put this series to 2-1.
Oh.
Maybe they can start to build upon something, but for Into the Breach, if they were to get it, you start to feel like momentum is well and truly on their side, and the Complexity will be tumbling out. Right now, it is Complexity we're pushing forward. They're laying siege to the ITB base, so a lot of work for Into the Breach here to clear out the play defense. Jim top middle, WuTum as well. They're going to combine. Breakingshot doing so much damage to both players, keeping them no shields, but TchiK elsewhere gets the flank, Jim gets the overshield, and now the Europeans can march forward. Now they can look to threaten a flag capture of their own.
Well, an overshield and a flag run, albeit falling off the map. This one should be relatively comfortable to get the majority of the way, but it depends where Complexity are here. Looks like Jim should be able to comfortably plop it in, and it will. ITB take the lead. And Jimbo still has a tiny, incy-bincy little bit of overshield left to work with as well. He almost looked
He
almost looked at Breakingshot saying, should I?
Yeah, he's like, Breakingshot's probably not the one.
He looked up at the name and was like, no.
No, not Breakingshot.
The time's not right.
Not Breakingshot.
Me and Breakingshot are cool.
Me and RyaNoob are not on speaking terms at the minute.
Not on speaking terms.
He called me a Brit moments ago, so...
He called you a Brit?
A Brit, yeah.
He called you a Brit?
A Brit, yeah.
How dare he?
Well, Jimbo and I,
yeah,
we were both together.
Where was that?
I was in the restroom during the break.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Because I walked in and them two were there, and I said, well, this is awkward, lads, isn't it? And Jim said, you made it worse by saying it's awkward. And I said, that's exactly what I tried to do, Jim. They both laughed, but then RyaNoob with a parting shot called me a Brit, and I gotta say it hurt, but now I'm rooting for his demise.
You never call an Irishman a Brit.
Never do that.
You never do that. And that's one thing that ITB doesn't have, is an Irishman. Quadrant do.
They used to. They used to. Glory used to play for ITB before he was poached by those pesky Quadrant boys.
Those darn Brits and French.
They were more French
More
at the time.
French. Well, Breakingshot has a sniper. He's already hit a couple of good shots here. 8 minutes remain. There is still plenty of time for Complexity, but as it stands, they would be eliminated from the Halo World Championship in top 12. And it does beg the question of what happens. Of course, year 4 of the HCS has been officially announced. Congratulations, Shurs, you have a job again, we think.
No, they've confirmed that there will be a year 4, not that I will be involved in year 4.
That's
so
very true.
Still a concern, it's still up in the air.
If Complexity were to go on to lose this series, get knocked out in top 12, where would these players end up? Would they stick together? Well, at the moment, they say, we don't even want to consider that because they will tie the game.
Oh!
All right, they tie the game.
Okay, there be moments. 1-1, 4 dead for Into the Breach, so an opportunity for the Complexity, not only with that flag capture to push forward and threaten again. ITB in big trouble here and could fall victim to a double cap if they're not too careful. Huss will eventually get taken down by Jimbo. 2 dead, Huss and Breakingshot in the respawn screen. ITB have a full complement of players on the map, prepared to put down damage. WuTum then up towards the flag podium, does a little bit of damage, but then drops down. Bait and switch is in full effect here. Jimbo gets there, puts this fist in the face of Rayne. In the face.
Glad it was there.
TchiK gets a kill as well onto Huss, before ultimately getting taken down. Very back and forth this game. Could go either way.
Enemy flag returned.
All 4 members sent themselves into the flag. Some would say they were going into the breach.
Into the unknown.
Sadly, they weren't able to really get that flag as far as they would have liked. WuTum had tried to move it and groove it whilst also laying down suppressing fire onto the players that were following. And now they can maybe go for another pull here. Jimbo just tosses it out to test the waters. How cold is said water? Is it hot enough to boil?
Is that 50 degrees?
And is it hot enough to steep a tea, is what I meant to say. Overshield's going to be
Is it
going
hot
up.
enough to boil?
I mean, I have boiled water before.
You boiled water.
You know when you put
it was
the
already
kettle-
boiled if you boiled water.
You boiled it again.
It's still in a state of boiled there. You haven't boiled water. Oh god. Overshield for RyaNoob. We are delirious. He just peeking left and right. Not too sure where he wants to go. He has finally decided on a path and a route. Will get meleeed over. Shield will go down, so RyaNoob not able to put that one to work as he would have liked. Currently sitting at 6, 6, and 12, and that makes me happy because, again, I'm rooting for his demise.
Just because he called you a Brit.
That's all.
RyaNoob, just to be...
That's all it takes.
To be clear, I do not stand with Jersey on this one.
That's because you are a red coat.
Can't say that.
Why can't I just
I
say it?
don't know. I
You
don't
wear
know.
red coats.
Do I?
I don't know.
When have you ever... Never mind.
Remaining.
Right, 5 minutes remaining. Complexity, their tournament life on the line here. Into the Breach are in the driving seat in terms of the series, but 18 kills for Breakingshot. He is doing everything he can to keep Complexity in the Halo World Championship. Huss takes the fight. WuTum will trade out. Flag starts to move, and Breakingshot will be there to cover. This is looking good from Complexity.
Breakingshot escorting the flag over towards the pistol area, keeping zMightys at bay as well. Great work from Breakingshot. RyaNoob is going to slam this one in. Complexity show signs of life, not only tying this one up, now the score is 2-1, and all of a sudden question marks lay at the feet of ITB.
And ITB just need to not panic here. You still have 4 minutes, and you still have 2 other maps and modes, but you also don't really want to go into a map 4, into a map 5, because then that's when that seed of doubt starts to creep into your mind. One thing that European teams have been guilty of in the past, maybe not so much in the present, is panicking a little bit and giving up some of these leads. But now there's an overshield. 3 are dead. 2 are going to be spawning. TchiK can move, but he's going to be moving the flag towards them here. They have to fight together. I think TchiK considered maybe I can grab that flag and run it the other way. He thinks, I wish I would have ran it down low.
Looking for the path of least resistance, and unfortunately he ran it straight into the fresh spawners. A miscommunication on the side of ITB, and that could be a detriment to the cause, because that was a real opportunity to tie this game up, but now all of a sudden time can start to be a factor as well. Just a touch over 3 minutes to play. This is the sort of game state that Complexity thrive in, Dan. 2-1 to the good. They can play defense and really start to frustrate the Europeans here. Jim will toss the flag out, but you can see Complexity taking up unorthodox positions, applying pressure and ensuring this flag can't get anywhere quickly.
Jim arrives at just the right time, though. He's going to be able to get that one and move this flag. There's a lot of nades. If he can stay alive, it's big. Oh, it doesn't quite keep the flag around the corner. zMightys will be there to follow up, but this is going to be a good attempt at a flag run. ITB have a 4 versus 2 lead in terms of slays. Yes, okay, 1 on the side of Complexity, but this should be a cap for ITB.
zMightys runs this flag down. It is not the route you usually take, but it's effective. 2-2 now the score.
I do have a bone to pick with you whilst we have a small lull in the game at 2-2.
Okay.
Yesterday you said route on the main stage.
Right.
Historically, you've given me so much crap for
Right.
saying Americanisms, right? And you said route, not route.
You know, here's the thing. Data and data, route and route are the things that I will substitute on the fly.
Well, they are Americanisms.
But, well, one is and one isn't.
Correct.
Yes, but I will use
You just
them.
use both.
Yes.
And that's okay, is it?
Yeah.
But when I say pants instead of trousers,
Yes, that's
suddenly
you're,
I'm the bad guy.
Yes.
All right.
You figured it out. I didn't even have to say anything.
Flag is tossed out, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. On the other side, though, flag will be pulled. ITB down to just 2. WuTum and Jimbo going to have to do a lot here to stop Complexity from capping. And the overshield just come up. This is looking good for Complexity in the moment. Huss. Oh!
A sliding WuTum cannot evade the headshot from Huss. And pressure being applied now on the ITB base. Will it be enough to buckle and break them? Another headshot from Huss. zMightys is in the grave. TchiK's in big trouble as well. The overshield continues to be a factor, but the flag is still down. It is not making any progress right now.
Complexity quite literally fighting for their lives at the moment. Stepping up to the plate when their backs are firmly against the wall, but ITB are still holding strong. Maybe another attempt at a grab, but it's not going to happen. Flag sent back home. 1 minute 10 before we start to consider overtime here between Complexity and ITB. It's been a brilliant series to watch so far here on the Bravo stream. But I am unsure how it's going to conclude, because ITB looked like they were cruising, it looked like they were very much in control. Then Complexity suddenly had that 2-1 lead. You'd think they were going to sit back on it, but in a moment of magic, has ITB tie it up? Is it going to be a mistake that loses this game for either of these teams, or could it be a moment of brilliance? 3 are down and flag is moving.
zMightys has some damage on him already as well, so this is going to be a difficult stop for him. RyaNoob, with a lot of momentum, soars forward. A lot of ITB spawning over towards this part of the map as well. A A lot of pressure being applied. RyaNoob's prioritizing trying to live. That sticky grenade is not going to land. WuTum's kill Breakingshot, but he's not the point, and he's not the problem right now. The issue is RyaNoob. He's made it up the back ramp, he's made it past the sewer, and he's going to try and slide this flag home. There's nobody from ITB there to make the stop, and Complexity shows signs of life. They get back up off the mat, and they're waiting to fight.
How important could that be for Complexity? That break, the bathroom break that they had, maybe was just the key to success here, to mentally reset, refocus, and re-attack the ITB boys. And they do find themselves back into this series. And dare I say it, we have a series on our hands.
More of that series will be coming very, very shortly. A quick break. When we come back, we will have Game 4.
Incoming.
And we're back, folks. King of the Hill on Solitude here. Complexity up against ITB. Complexity down 1 map in the series so far, having previously been down by 2. And we're very close to being clean swept. But is that now the lifeline that they needed to get themselves not only back into this series, but push their tournament on and keep this run alive? ITB with very different ambitions and aspirations. Camouflage for WuTum inside of the hill, and what can the Finn do? Breakingshot's trying to spot him out, and he's done so successfully. A little bit of progress has been made. zMightys is over towards the hotel, no interest in checking out. Matter of fact, he puts one in the grave. Rayne, top middle now. TchiK gets a kill over towards the U-turn as well. So damage being done across the map. Both these teams still try and jostle for position, still try and get some semblance of map control. And because the camouflage and the shock rifle were up at the same time, ITB have now been able to capitalize on that chaos, on the carnage. They're inside the hill once more. RyaNoob's positioned over towards his poster stairs. zMightys gets the pick.
I'm looking forward to this one as well, because both teams are very successful at this game type, this map and mode. ITB have a 60% win record. They're about 4-2, I believe, if my memory serves me correct. I know that Complexity are unbeaten on it, though. But I believe they've only played it 3 times. So, you know, take from that what you would. Like, it could be 3 times, but you might have played a couple of teams that finish in top 16. So, you take it with a pinch of salt, but all I can tell you is both teams know how to play it successfully. Now, ITB very close to taking this first point, but Complexity now fighting tooth and nail to try and hold them off. 2 versus 2 on the map. Jimbo gets the first opener, and Jimbo's going to be able to step in and should be able to secure the point as well as a double kill. I have to say, all jokes aside, I think there was a lot of questions asked about Jimbo over the years, right? As he was starting to get a little bit older. He's still a very young man, I will point that out, but in terms of Halo players, he was getting a little bit older, and he was often being the scapegoat in some of his teams. His performances, maybe his statistics didn't shine up as much. He has really stepped it up every single tournament to demonstrate why he's such an integral part to this team.
He's almost reinvented himself. It's testament to how good Jim is, recognizing that, okay, maybe I'm not the Slayer that I was in the past. I have to adapt my game to what the team needs. And that's what he's done here. A huge double kill, gets inside the hill, captures it for his team. And that can be a real pace setter now. It's something to build upon. And as the team starts to roll, the confidence starts to flow. You start to think, this series is ours for the taking, and we're going to send Complexity home.
Another player I've been very impressed with, Breakingshot. Last event, he blew everyone out of the water with his performance and how he was playing. Statistically, was up there with some of the best. He was up there in the top 5, I think, at one point throughout the weekend in terms of KD as well. And if Complexity are going to get back into this series, I feel like he is going to be a key factor. Has to play with that confidence that we saw back in Salt Lake City. And he is confidently approaching TchiK in the moment, but you don't want to walk into TchiK when he has the shock.
Puts him away. Gets 2. That's all ITB need now to confirm their second hill. They're in cruise control right now. Complexity are in big trouble. They're on the ropes, and ITB are swinging for the fences.
Do Complexity start to sweat a little bit here? Or are they going to be able to calm down? This is where you need a player like RyaNoob, who has that experience, decade plus of experience. maybe over a decade and a half now of experience from RyaNoob, to be completely honest. To say, look, it's not over until it's over here. You can very easily get back into this game, plenty of time. All we need is this next one. You don't want to go 3-0 down. 3-0 down on Solitude, and then you might be starting to pack your bags and thinking about heading back to the hotel. But they've done very well in this third hill to keep ITB back, and they've scored so much already.
ITB probably contemplating, do we just give this one up? Such has been the stranglehold Complexity have had on it so far. WuTum is bottom middle. He doesn't look like he's got long left in the world. The hill is now going to rotate. Breakingshot's camouflage dissipates. Jimbo continues to jiggle peek over towards this poster stairs. zMightys is going to combine and connect with TchiK to make sure RyaNoob gets taken care of. TchiK now bottom middle in a 1v1. He comes out on top. Huss takes him down. Rayne turns his attentions towards WuTum. It's very scrappy right now. A lot of kills being traded back and forth. And although Complexity lost out in the numbers, the spawns have favored them. They spawn towards Loop, which means they are in prime position for this hill. RyaNoob's down to no shield. Somehow, someway gets that stick when he had no right to. But it's ITB who stand inside the hill, but will they stand strong?
This is a hill you can definitely milk some time as well. Really frustrate your opponent by kind of stepping in, forcing them out of their hidey holes, and then you take the fight, step back out, step back in a little bit later. You don't need to overcommit to it if you're ITB here. They just need to make sure they don't allow Complexity to get full control and get a lot of time on the board, and that's why WuTum happy to step out, happy to try and help and assist his teammate if there was going to be a push towards Yard. But Complexity have successfully been able to break any sort of setup from ITB so far.
WuTum desperately running for his life because Complexity, the vice started to close in, and he knew as soon as he lost that member in Yard, he was in big trouble. A victim of timing more than anything else, because he jumped up to try and help TchiK in Yard, and as he dropped down to help the player bottom middle, of course those two players pushed in. It was a wonderful push from Complexity, but it hasn't borne much fruit for the moment. RyaNoob, he is crafty, he is sneaky, and he is hiding.
Oh.
Back loop. Oh, hang on a second. Things are getting more awkward now as Jim and RyaNoob exchanging some, what should we call it, Dan? Some unsavory moments.
Could be fisticuffs later. How I'm seeing it right now, but if this fourth hill, but the third for ITB does go in their favor, with only a couple of minutes left on the board, you start to worry for Complexity's chances here in this series and this tournament. Breakingshot, though, will get a lot of damage that Rayne can follow up on. Complexity will now start to score towards this one. ITB on the back foot a little bit. Off spawn, TchiK's going to have to work in tandem with WuTum, and they do get some slays on the board, and Rayne and Breakingshot are now going to have to fight back to back to keep ITB out.
Wonderful play from Rayne just to shoot that grenade.
Nice.
Did he get the stick? Yes, he did. Rayne doing so much damage on the map there. And off the back of that, Complexity managed to keep control of this hill, keep control of this driveway. 3 members of ITB went down for a moment. They can start to score again. RyaNoob steps inside the hill. 3 members of ITB positioned bottom middle S1 area. zMightys is S2. So they have all this side of the map to themselves now, do Complexity. RyaNoob ventures out, ventures forward, tries to do damage for his team. Huss and Breakingshot have got a couple of kills, which is going to make this one a very difficult break for ITB. RyaNoob's down to no shields. He continues to garner the attention of ITB. These next few engagements are going to be pivotal for this hill, and the first pick, the second, and the third have gone the way of Complexity. They're going to tie us up 2-2.
And they are right back into this thing. And how frustrating is that going to be for ITB? Had they won that hill, that could have been the game, it could have been the series, but now they have given Complexity a ticket back into this map, a ticket back into this tournament perhaps. As not only do they have camouflage now, but they also have control of this hill. Temporarily did, now they back out of it. The push comes in from ITB.
Complexity showing resilience in this series. With how the first couple went, it looked as though they were down. They were all but out. They're showing what they're made of here at the Halo World Championships. So much experience on that stage. A couple of young guns to boot as well. Breakingshot springs to mind. Huss. RyaNoob's been to World Championships in the past. And he has hopes, he has ambitions of making this one his best ever. But do this Complexity team have what it takes to get there? Because right now ITB stand in their way, and they're about to capture the third hill. Breakingshot has to hit shots. Rayne is forced to back away. Are they going to give this one up? Rayne is in peril. Jimbo's in the hill and into the breach. Retake the lead.
1 minute and 20 left on the clock, and it's the bottom middle hill. Arguably one of the most difficult ones to solidify. Into the breach are certainly going to play time here. And they are just going to play Slayer. They're going to try and keep Complexity out of this hill for 1 minute. Sounds easier than it actually is going to be, though, especially with Rayne getting a double. But there's the response. ITB just need to position themselves in that way that they can clean up whoever takes damage in the hill.
ITB's plan is good, but how is the execution? They're spawning over towards Snipe side. Complexity have a player positioned inside the hill. They're going to keep on scoring. Breakingshot and Rayne are the last two players standing for the team. zMightys gets a kill on S1. He must be down to no shields because Breakingshot is trying to get there to get the kill. zMightys shields has just come back for now. He's getting tanked up all the time, but he's forced Breakingshot out of the hill, which eats away at that clock.
Down to now 40 seconds. RyaNoob does tag one. Breakingshot gets another. But they need to start thinking about time here. They might be able to get to about halfway before the spawners from ITB start to arrive. There was only one alive at the moment. But now the rest of them are going to be on the map and trying to disrupt this hill. This is good time though for Complexity. They are giving this a bloody good go.
Complexity fighting for their life. Into the breach. Have got to get him out of this hill. They've made up so much time here in this one. Huss goes down, as does Breakingshot. RyaNoob gets one, he's down to no shields. zMightys gets that kill. Complexity are not standing inside the hill. All four dead now. And with 13 seconds, time is dwindling down. Breakingshot spawns inside blue, and he cannot stand on ceremony. He has got to get inside the hill. He continues to try and do damage. He steps inside. WuTum is there. WuTum falls. An opening, a moment in time here for Complexity. Can they fight? Backs against the wall. TchiK with a huge double kill. Rayne stands inside. TchiK get a triple kill for him. zMightys gets one too. They run out of time, and ITB win the series 3-1. Complexity's season is over.
Complexity knocked out at top 12. ITB move on to top 8. And sadly, as Richie was alluding to, that will be Complexity's tournament done. That's their season over for all their hard work for the top 6 they saw in Salt Lake City. Now they will see a top 12 here at the Halo World Championship. A disappointing ending to their season, but on the side of Into the Breach, how far can they go? Top 8 already secured. Now they can start to think about top 6. A great series indeed. Europe reigns supreme in this one. Complexity have to go back to the drawing board for next year of HCS. Of course, we have plenty more action coming up on the Bravo stream. We'll go for a break, but when we come back, we'll have even more Halo World Championship action.